What's up, Kris Krohn here, straight from the Galapagos, sharing with you today how I've created hundreds of streams of income. In fact, today, this video is for those of you that want to develop 5 streams of income by the time you're 25 years old.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
This here is a marine iguana. It's one of 4, it just spit. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. It's one of 4 endemic iguanas to this area, which means the marine iguana is found only in one place in the world and it actually swims, and it's this guy right here. How do I know that? Because all my streams of income afford me a lifestyle to discover stuff like this in person instead of in a book. Check out what we've got going on right here. There's a baby sea lion pup right here, right next to mom. You've got crabs out and about. Look at all these marine iguanas. I literally just watched this one iguana like duel it out and duke it out with this large red crab. And I'm having this like incredible, amazing, surreal experience because the Galapagos have been on my bucket list for such a long time. But I would never be here. I would never be sharing in these real life experiences if I was stuck behind a desk destined for the job that I thought that I was going to do. I had a really unique experience in life. I had this cubicle job in college surveying people that were in their 50s and 60s who had been to college 30 years earlier. And I was talking to them about their retirement. And I started realizing their 401ks, their IRAs, even the equity they built in their house was not enough. And check this out. Society has dished out a financial game plan for you. Put your eyes on the screen and check this out. I liken these 5 vehicles for creating wealth to the 5 that you see here on the screen. Your 401k earning 5% is like the front end loader, very slow. You got the bicycle, the IRA earning 7%. The S&P 500 is the tractor at 8%. The antique car at 4.65%. And the ice cream truck, your annuity, earning 3.27%. Now, why did I use vehicles? Because later on in this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 race car, speedy, fast vehicles for actually getting where you want to go. These vehicles are antiquated. They're never going to get you where you want to go. Like, just imagine that we were in San Diego and that we were trying to get to New York. Would you want to take a bicycle there, or would you want to take an ice cream truck there? And imagine if you had a tractor and you weren't allowed on the freeway. It would be so slow. And here's the analogy. All of these vehicles share something in common. They're earning 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8%. And single digit ROIs spread over a 40-year working life do not produce enough wealth for how much money you want to have at retirement. And no one's asking the number one question: how much money do you actually need for retirement? And in a moment, I'm going to tell you the answer. And I'm curious if you have the answer. And if you don't have an answer, then worlds like this and world travel and private yachts and private planes, or giving $1 million to philanthropy, or whatever it is that you have on your heart, buying mom a house, the things in life that you want to do financially, you're never going to get there unless you get the answer to this question, so that you can finally figure out that society's game plan sucks and it's never going to get you where you want to go. So how much do you actually need for retirement? Well, let's start off with becoming a millionaire. Let's just say that you save $1 million for retirement. That's 5 times more money than the average person saves. So it's going to be hard and challenging, but you might think, if I have $1 million, I've made it. Well, if you take $1 million and you give it to your financial planner, they're going to say, well, you don't want to eat away at the million, right? Because now you're accustomed to spending $80,000 or $90,000 or $100,000 a year. So this is only going to last you maybe 10 or 12, 15 years. But modern day medicine is going to keep you alive a lot longer than that, more than likely. So you're like, okay, well, maybe I should live off of the interest that it produces. Financial planner, what's the most interest that you can give me off of $1 million? And they say, well, I can put it in annuity earning around 3%. 3% on $1 million is $30,000 a year. And that's going to come out to around $2,600 a month. And here's my question. Did you ever think in your entire life that if you became a millionaire, that $1 million was only going to produce $2,600 a month of interest? Truth is, it's not a lot of money. So then you say, well, what if I actually wanted to retire on $100,000 a year? you would need around $3.3 million. And you know what? Most people don't make $3.3 million in their entire working life. So how are you supposed to save $3.3 million? The answer? The 5 investments that I'm going to share with you in today's vehicle have the power at higher ROI to break free and actually make it true. You're looking at the remains of a very large pilot whale. And when the water comes right over this area here, it probably washed it all the way to right here. Cycle of life kind of stuff. Well, let's make sure that your financial future doesn't look like this bag of bones and instead turns into something a lot more abundant and prosperous. So I want to introduce you to the 5 wealth vehicles that can make literally anything possible in just a few short years, and it all comes down to how much ROI you're earning. Check this out. Let me give you a fresh perspective that no one's talking about. Your first of the 5 vehicles is what I call the armored truck, right? This is where you're going to earn the only single-digit ROI you should that makes your money untouchable and has it grow tax-free. Then in the middle, you're going to see the sport car. This is your double-digit ROI vehicle. It's going to be real estate, and I'll show you how to make 25% a year every year on real estate. Number 3 is the race car. This is your triple-digit ROI. This is where you learn how to identify Netflix before it becomes Netflix, Tesla before it becomes Tesla. You get to invest in 10 or 15 of these amazing companies, and then over the next decade, watch a handful of them skyrocket through the roof, and in the end, produce 500% ROI for you. Number 4, you have the Formula One race car. This is your quadruple-digit ROI. This is owning businesses, not operating businesses, highly profitable businesses that you own that pay you money. And then number 5, if you want to tap into infinite ROI, that's what I liken to the private jet. The private jet gives you the opportunity to basically leverage other people's money and have it work for you, which gives you an infinite ROI. You're looking at the Galapagos hawk. That is one of the largest land predators they actually have here in the area. And I want to teach you right now how to be absolutely financially lethal with your game plan. Remember, there's 5 investments that you need, and I'm going to share with you the first one right now. It is a rare type of life insurance where you stash cash to prepare it for investing. When you're saving money aggressively so that you can start investing even with small amounts, you don't put it in a bank account earning you 0.0 nothing percent. I'm going to show you how to put it in a type of life insurance policy that grows tax-free somewhere around 5, 6, 7%. And while that's not super impressive, it's already better than the markets. It's a huge hedge against inflation, and you can borrow the money out and invest it whenever you want. But in the meantime, this money is untouchable, as in no one can litigate it, no one can sue for it, the government can't freeze it, no one can touch money. So that makes it a very intelligent place to stash cash while you're preparing for the second of the 5 investments, which I'll show you next. Oh my gosh, do you see how fast he is? And guess what? Your second vehicle is also super fast. It's real estate investment, and it's how you get yourself to earning 25% ROI. Now, think of ROI, return on investment, this way. If you put $1 out that year, what comes back to you? If you put it in your savings account earning 1%, then you'll get a penny back. If you put it in your first vehicle I shared with you, and let's say it's producing 6%, it gives you 6 pennies back. But in real estate, when you put $1 out, it is returning 25 cents back to you. And if you compound it, it doesn't just take 4 years to get your money back, it's just a little over 3 years. So real estate is an incredible wealth building vehicle. Notice though, it's only the second of 5 vehicles because there are some things that make a lot more money. Real estate is used for passing on lifetime wealth. It's used for legacy. It's used for money for you, but it means in 20 years, there's going to be a lot of money for the next generation or where you want to do your philanthropic work. So what is real estate? Well, it's buying a property and it's holding onto it long-term and renting it out. It gives you a positive cash flow, which means after it's rented out and you've collected the rents and you paid the mortgage, there's money left over. It also means that it's appreciating in value, it's growing. It also means the tenants are paying the real estate off. So think of those 3 main benefits, and then here's the 4th. You get to depreciate it. Now, this is a really big multi-$100,000 thing. Imagine dividing it by 27.5, and every year you get to write off that amount. To make it really simple, it means that whatever cash flow you get in almost all scenarios is going to be tax-free because of the benefit of depreciation. Real estate is a game that you need to get in. And by the way, if that feels way foreign to you and you're like, I don't really know how to do that, then number one, you should be subscribing to my channel because I'll simplify it. And number two, when you do get your free copy of the book that all this information comes from below, the book I wrote called Have It All, there's an opportunity for you to connect with my team and you can ask them about partnering with me. If you partner with me, I'll do all of the work and I'll split the profits equally with you. If that sounds like a good idea, well, then you'll want to click that link, get your copy of the book right now, while we move on to vehicle number 3. All right, the third vehicle that I want to share with you that is really going to supercharge wealth and retirement coming your way, even so much to the tune that when I titled the book, the subtitle says, these are the 5 investments that you need to become a self-made millionaire in less than 5 years. And you know what? The math says that it's 100% doable, and it really kicks into high gear with this third vehicle. Your triple digit ROI, meaning 100% or greater, and I'm targeting 500% in this book that I'm giving you for free. Let me explain it. It's about picking companies that are the next. What represents the future? For example, 5G just launched, right? So we've got this global Wi-Fi where internet speeds are a lot faster, but did you know that there are companies working on 6G? Or how about the fact that Tesla maybe started this whole trend of widespread electrical vehicle phenomenon, but who's going to get the US government contract by the end of Biden's term to have like all the fleets owned by America be electric vehicles? It's not going to be Tesla, it's going to be someone else. And if you look for advances in medicine and in medical all across the board, there are companies that represent the future. You should be researching these companies. I'll show you how in the free book. And then when you find them, you should put a little bit of money in them. Because did you know that $1,000 a Netflix owned 7 years ago today would be worth over $250,000? Same thing with Amazon, same thing if you knew the other great companies that we take for granted today. Airbnb came out of the last great recession. We are now entering a recession. It means that in the next 12 to 24 months, large companies are going to emerge that are solving our new problems of today. And in 5 years, when spring emerges in the economy, they will be the new global leaders that are on the rise. If you know how to identify, if you know how to find them, if you know how to invest very carefully a little bit of money in them, it can do wonders for your financial portfolio. Again, the book that I'm giving you for free shows you exactly how to find all of these. The book is free. All you have to do is cover the shipping, and it's yours while supplies last. You're looking at a piece of an engine from a ship all the way that dates back to World War II that basically washed up here. It's got some American letters on it, so I'm assuming that it's probably US made, but honestly, who knows? This engine back in its day probably did a fine job at creating some speed, but it's nothing compared to the quadruple digit ROI of a Formula One race car. Just think how tuned that engine's got to be to produce the kind of speed where you're competing against the fastest cars in the world. Well, the fourth vehicle is all about owning a business. Now, real estate produces a lot of growth over time and it gives you some cash flow. But on the opposite end of the spectrum, you can have a business that can produce tremendous amounts of growth, but what it really does is it spits off tons of cash flow. So for example, if 85% of the world, according to Gallup, hates what they do for a living, they shouldn't be buying real estate. They should be buying a business. Why? Because it can kick off a single business enough cash flow to get you out of a job. Now there's a misnomer there. There's a lot of people that think, wait a second, owning a business means that you have to work in the business. No, that's what operators are paid to do. Did you know that you can own businesses that you don't work, but that work for you? Most people don't know that. So one of my goals is to own as many businesses as I can. And to date, I own hundreds of them. So what's great about owning a business is that it can produce the level of cash flow that can replace job income. And it opens you up to 250 plus different tax advantages that the US government at least gives you by way of write-offs. You can write off a part of your home, you can write off your cell phone, you can write off vehicle mileage, you can write off meals, you can write off all sorts of things, certain trips. All of that comes from owning a business. So I always tell people that if you want to be wealthy by 25, or whether it's 30 or 50, then owning a business is one of the most important things that you're going to need to own, because it taps you into quadruple digit ROI. That means that you're now producing over 1,000% a year on your money. In general, it means that your money, whatever you put in, can double in a matter of days or weeks instead of months or years. So it is a really big game changer. I was sure that was going to start a stampede. And I wanted to basically say, if you want to create a stampede financially in your life and really rev it up and make a lot of money, clearly it's not igniting a stampede of iguanas. No, actually, how you really accelerate things to the roof is this. Imagine for a moment that you could buy a business for $50,000. Imagine that the business made you $100,000 a year. Well, what's your ROI? You put up $50,000 and it returns you $100,000. That's a 200% return on your money. But what if you could buy the business with no money out of pocket whatsoever, and it still produces you $100,000 a year? Wouldn't you agree that that's amazing? That's what OPM is. It's what other people's money is. And it's when you start using other people's money, the bank's money, a friend's money, family's money, a professional investor's money, to start investing in things, and you share some of the profits with them and you keep some for you. And then you can't calculate the ROI because you're putting up nothing and you're getting everything in return. This is the most important financial principle for you to investigate and understand. And when you click the link below and get a copy of the book, I'm going to teach you my favorite ways of producing an infinite ROI on your money. And when you do that, if you enact even just 2 of these 5 strategies, but if you even ignite all 5 of them, then creating wealth in less than 5 years, 100% possible. Click the link below, get the book, do it. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm off on my next adventure. If you haven't picked up your free copy of the book, do that below. Make sure that you subscribe, and more importantly, the internet thinks that what you need next on your wealth journey with me is in the video right here. Click it, and I'll see you right there.